Hello friends. Despite its decent size, only one 4-cylinder D20 DT turbo diesel with 141 horsepower was installed. Even more surprising is the fact that the almost 2-ton car has pleasant dynamics. Before restyling, the engine was slightly modified, D20 DTR, and the power increased to 149 horsepower to 155 horsepower. Motors are generally reliable, but Delphi fuel injectors do not differ in durability. Sometimes they need to be repaired or replaced after 100,000 kilometers. In addition, difficulties often arise with the extraction of nozzles. They stick, often the fourth one. As a result of applying excessive force, the nozzle may break off, and then you will have to remove the blockhead to drill out the remnants. Motorists, for the purpose of prevention, are advised to treat the threads of the nozzles with copper grease. Diesels of the D20 DT often suffered due to a miscalculation in the design of the timing chain tensioner. It did not cope with its task, the chain began to walk, destroyed the damper and the tensioner bar, and it in turn broke the front cover of the engine. In addition, when accelerating hard from idle, a chain jump could occur. A harbinger of trouble will be extraneous noise, rumbling, at idle, which should not be ignored. On the updated D20 DTR, this problem does not occur. After 150 to 200,000 kilometers, there were unpleasant cases of turning the liners, consequences of failure of the oil pump. Sometimes the engine mounts spontaneously unscrew, which leads to vibrations during movement. Interruptions in the operation of a turbodiesel are often caused by a clogged filter of the turbine modulator, or USR, or wear of the modulator itself. The turbocharger will last more than 150 to 200,000 kilometers. Thanks to the all-wheel drive system, SsangYong Actyon Sports is not afraid to move off the asphalt. On rough terrain, its capabilities are limited by a long wheelbase, 3,060 millimeters. After 150 to 200,000 kilometers, the crosses of the cardan shafts often wear out, vibration occurs. The transfer case rarely fails. In some instances, the chain was stretched. Loss of control of the transfer case operating modes is most often caused by rotten or broken wires. In the segment of 100 to 200,000 kilometers, the front axle sometimes stops connecting, hubs or vacuum modulator fail. The very first Actyon Sports were equipped with a 5-speed manual and a 4-speed automatic. The manual transmission is almost eternal. Fuzzy shifting with effort is a feature of its work. After 100 to 150,000 kilometers, the dual-mass flywheel sometimes gave up. Not far behind the mechanics is the 4-speed automatic. Individual owners had to deal with automatic transmission repair only after 200,000 kilometers. With proper care, an old machine will last more than 300 to 400,000 kilometers. In mid-2008, a more modern 6-band DSI automatic appeared. Unfortunately, the new box proved to be unreliable. The first problems arose even in the first 100,000 kilometers. The lock washer was destroyed. In 2010, the puck was modernized. However, the service life of the box has increased slightly. In the segment of 100 to 200,000 kilometers, owners often had to deal with a faulty torque converter, pump, valve body, worn valves, and solenoids. Sometimes the automatic transmission electric control unit also failed. The front axle of the SsangYong Actyon Sport uses an independent 2-lever scheme, and the rear axle uses a continuous axle with springs. The most vulnerable element is ball bearings. They have a low resource. Off-road lovers are in for another trouble, a break in the front axle mount. At best, knocking and vibrations will appear. At worst, it breaks through the engine crankcase and breaks the automatic transmission oil cooling line. Over time, the rear calipers or the parking brake cable often turn sour. The body metal is not prone to corrosion, but the number on the frame should be protected. It is often eaten by rust. With age, the attachment points of the body to the frame are deformed or rot. A knock appears. After 120 to 150,000 kilometers, the generator may require attention. Most often, the overrunning clutch fails. The voltage regulator, brushes, and bearings are handed over later. Quite often, the drive belt tensioner fails. In older specimens, the immobilizer often loses the key. In this case, you will need the help of a specialist to re-register the keys or disable the immobilizer function. Subsequently, the wiring of the rear lights rots. If you know of other model malfunctions, be sure to write about it.